I do want to ask you about your article that came out today. Thrivers and survivors. I mean, that sounds like such an incredible concept. And you were alluding to, I guess, some of the struggles you've been through that are included in that.
So this year alone has probably been one of the most difficult entrepreneurship journeys for me. And that just came down to trying to look so hard for the funding, but not realizing that there's a revenue model in front of me. And being able to just look at, can I actually make sales that's going to assist the funding process? Because I can't be sitting around with the hopes. And I had to eat noodles for at least a month and sometimes 2. And I sprinkled cheese on it and I was like, you know what, babes, this is gourmet right now. And that was actually the sort of quote that Forbes used, because it was hard. And I don't come from a wealthy family, so everything I have has to be me. And I am the backup plan. And I think in the toughest moments is when I learned the most. And I'm just hoping that I'm able to inspire other young entrepreneurs, male and female, to just continue on your passion, and your passion will create profit.
And become your own backup plan.
Yeah,
I love that line.
That.
I think that's going to be the title of this interview.
Yes.
Hello, everybody. This show has been created to inspire you to take action.
Celebrating and reframing what success looks like.
To be the best version of ourselves that we can be.
And we have incredible speakers for you tonight.
Hello, and welcome to the Future Females Show. I'm Susanna Kennedy, and I'm super excited to be here with my fabulous co-host, Lauren Dallas.
Hello, everyone. You know that the Future Female Show is all about celebrating and reframing what success looks like, and celebrating different women who, in this instance, represent different business models. And this episode is no different. We are joined, as you can see, by the fabulously dressed Serisha Barrat. Serisha is a lawyer. She is a tech entrepreneur. And she's many other things. She was a semi-finalist of the Forbes 30 Under 30 in 2022. And your Forbes article came out today, if I'm not wrong.
Yay!
Hell
yeah!
Freaking yeah! That is amazing, and we're definitely going to want to hear a lot more about that. But I think, as always, if you'd like to just start by sharing a bit about your model, but actually, if I can frame it, one of the reasons why I was so excited for you to be on the show is that you have taken an industry like law, where there is a lot of trust, and it typically requires a lot of in-person time, and decentralized it through an online tech marketplace. So you're able to scale this business, scale your impact, create jobs without needing to keep exchanging your time, which is something I'm super passionate about.
It's so amazing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, ladies. And it's always just so inspiring to be able to sit in a room full of other inspirational women and feed off that energy. So thank you so much for creating a platform like you have, and to have me here today. Hi, ladies. My name is Serisha Barrat, CEO and founder of Lawyered Up. And as Lauren mentioned, it is taking a commercial service and digitizing it. And I think there was no better time than the pandemic to take this commercial service like legal and make it more accessible to township businesses, small to medium-sized businesses, as well as startups. And being a startup myself and understanding what those pain points were, we came up with pre-drafted legal documents and packages to assist your small to medium-sized businesses as well as startups and township businesses. If we look at the unemployment rate right now, it's sitting on 33%. How are we able to fix that? And for me, it was going back to, where does that come from? Who are our neighbors, as made mention to in the previous talk? And I thought that was amazing. Who are your neighbors, and who are you trying to actually impact and help? So it was about understanding the brilliant concepts and ideas that are coming from the township areas, but not having access to legal services as well as accounting services that enables them to secure funding and to scale. And in order to achieve fixing the unemployment issue, it comes down to supporting your township businesses, supporting your startups and small to medium-sized businesses. So at Lloyd Up, we're making it accessible to your SMMEs as well as startups, pay-as-you-go services and subscription-based model, starting as low as 99 Rand a month. So should you be a startup that has the financial difficulties, like me, I've been there, surviving and thriving, like the article today on Forbes, it does come with challenges. But in order to be a business that's scalable, you also need to be compliant. And being compliant means having your legal documents in place and being able to get that funding, starting at scale, going through to venture capital, starting at seed, going through to venture capital, and then scaling your business, all comes down to being compliant.
I love what you've shared there, because one of the things that we were speaking about earlier as well is it's also about timing. And I remember speaking to you when I had my radio show at Two Oceans Vibe, and you already had this idea. It was already a seed that had been planted, and then as the universe does these things, the pandemic hit, and your idea became, I think, so much more valuable. What shifted there, and what opportunities opened up for you with that shift happening in the world?
So digital signatures was a huge shift, especially in the legal space, as well as courts going digital. So you were able to have a court hearing on a Zoom call. That was something that was never going to be allowed in a regulated industry like legal. And then we looked into blockchain and cryptocurrencies and how can we integrate that into a commercial service, and came up with smart contracts. So utilizing blockchain technology, smart contracts, allowing attorneys to also be able to work from anywhere in the world based on jurisdiction and mandate, of course, and creating job opportunities. You could be anywhere and register on the platform, being another revenue model. So if you are an attorney, hop on, register on the platform, pay a monthly subscription, and whatever you make is yours. We're not there to take away from you. We're actually there to be the connector between people that need your service as well as creating those job opportunities.
So I think one of the things I know you've done well, because obviously I've explored your platform, but I'd love to touch on, is this concept of building trust. And I know, from doing one-on-ones myself, but more in the marketing space, I kind of had this feeling that people just prefer to work in person, and that once you've built that relationship, it's easier to keep it going. So how have you, and particularly in the industry of law where trust is so critical, how have you built that?
So I think it comes down to educating individuals and educating them from the point of, where do you come from? What is it that you really need? And how are we there to help you? And in the pandemic, when you were not allowed to actually, leave your home unless it was for necessities, how were you going to sign a document? How were you able to travel to an attorney if needed? So many businesses were popping up. It was, I was retrenched and now I need to start a business. Where am I going to start? Who am I going to ask to register my business? Can I consult with someone online? And it was services that we were providing. The simple things like logging onto CIPC and educating individuals on, okay, if you don't have the money to utilize, your firms, let us show you how to do it. And we did Instagram stories, and it's just building that trust on, we humans too, and we go through those challenges too, and just being as authentic as you can to be able to relate to those businesses.
I think that's one of the amazing things that COVID did do, the pandemic did do, was that it showed that you don't need to be in person to get value out of a situation. And it opened up so many different opportunities for so many different people. And it's one of the real positives, actually, that came out of the situation. Your business model is a membership, subscription-based membership site. So it's translatable basically into most industries, isn't it? It's something that other entrepreneurs could look at and emulate in a certain way. What advice would you give somebody who wants to take an industry that you wouldn't have thought of, like law, and create a subscription-based membership site out of? What would be the advice that you could share with them?
Also, maybe I can add on to that.
Yeah.
Like, let's actually talk about money too.
Let's talk about money.
What actually is your model? Like, what is your pricing and your costs? And how could someone really take that and apply it?
Okay, so I'm going to start with what is the model. So we have different revenue streams. So one being, if you are an attorney, you're able to register on the platform, you pay 500 Rand a month and 150 Rand for a domain. So tom@lawyedup.co.za, so that we also keep the uniform and professionalism when it comes to the brand being Lawyered Up. So that's the one revenue model. The other is also about youth development and upskilling our final year students. So I remember being a final year student, not knowing how I was going to get articles or if I was going to be accepted because I didn't have prior experience. So we are allowing students to pay 200 Rand a month, whether it be for a month, 2 months, depending on you and how much of experience you'd like, to get experience with us, because we're not a firm, we're a legal consultancy. We don't offer articles, but what we can do is assist you in upskilling yourself and give you research work to do and introduce you to the legal tech space, which is also very new on the African continent. So having that experience and exposure will also infiltrate down into the universities. If you are a startup, you're able to get a package for 99 Rand a month as well as 299 a month. And that will give you access to specific documents based on standard, premium, and freemium. And with our freemium documents, for example, we would charge for an NDA like 99 Rand. But should you already be paying for the package, then that's a document that you get for free, or a lease agreement, or a standard employment contract. And these are simple documents that will also assist your business to scale. Another revenue model that we also have is, or not a revenue model, but rather socio-impact, is we assist gender-based violence. So we have over 150 pro bono attorneys on our platform, and we're only looking to grow that. So if you are a firm or an attorney that has hours to give, it goes back to gender-based violence and rape victims, which we know is a huge concern in Africa right now.
Can we get a hell yeah for that?
Yeah,
that is
that's amazing. It really
Hell
is.
yes to
Hell
you.
yeah,
Hell
beautiful
yeah.
lady. Cheers. Another awkward moment for me. I'm having them all day, guys, all day. But I really have loved watching you grow, because I've known you now for a number of years, and we've never been close, but I've been watching your journey, and it's been really, really wonderful to watch the progression of it. You don't only have this business, you've got other businesses as well. And I'd love to know, have you taken similar business models in all of your businesses, or are you looking at them as individual opportunities?
I love that question, because I feel like my business model that I've pivoted a million times with Lawyered Up, it's been hard, like emphasis on hard, changed from when I first spoke about it, and it was just a seed, to it being a little bit more than a seed, and to it now starting to have a few branches and realizing what works and what doesn't work. And when you realize what works, you try and mimic the model, but sometimes it doesn't work. So just going into something that's very new to me is the agriculture tech space. And that business is actually called Go Agro, as well as the gender-based violence space, and creating more secure communities with another app idea, or not an idea, but I was appointed CEO of, called Athena. All subscription-based models, looking at right down to your lower LSM communities, all the way up to people that do have money to spend and that can spend on, an air tag that's going to protect them or protect their fleet or goods. So utilizing the same concept across most of my businesses right now. But going back to what is that model and why do I think it works is a subscription-based model allows you to have the opportunity to cancel at any time. Should it not work for you, trying out different features, add-ons. Do I really need this? Has it assisted me? And then you get different levels of it. So if it's working at your freemium, maybe let me try premium. And if it's working at your premium, am I going to get your sort of golden package? And what does that entail? And being able to utilize those services and also just see if it works for you. It's 30 days. If it doesn't work, try something new. Maybe our business model isn't for you. So just being able to trial and error like every business and being able to learn from that with our people as well. So the people that's left the sort of subscription base, why did they leave, and understand where does that come from in order to better our services as well.
I think, one of the things I am really passionate about when it comes to the subscription model, and at Future Females, that's one, again, of our revenue streams that we're leaning more heavily into, is the potential to exit. And probably for all of us, when we start our business, we can't imagine ever leaving it. But what I've learned is that, as you said, businesses branch. And so if you can build with an exit in mind and evaluation in mind, then you're set up in future if you do want to. And some of you probably know this, but a learning for me is that your valuation is not at the current point of revenue. It's predictable future revenue. Mm-hmm. So actually a subscription business model gives you one of the best possible outcomes if that is your scenario. But coming back to you, is that something that you had in mind? What is your kind of future plan for this?
So I want to be able to scale internationally, but first starting in South Africa and Nigeria being the second place because of the amount of startups that's being funded in the space. And what does that look like from a legal perspective? How are we able to infiltrate into those ecosystems and assist businesses be more compliant? So that's basically where we're hoping to go.
Amazing. Well, we can get behind that.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the other things that I want to bring up, because a lot of people are so scared of starting because they've got this huge vision and then they don't take the first step because they think, oh no, but it's not going to look exactly like this huge vision that I have, is that you started with a website and you're building towards launching an app. Which is super exciting, but the website is already up and working. And why I'm bringing that up is because I think it's important for entrepreneurs to kind of go, okay, that's my end goal, but whatever the map looks like getting there doesn't have to be so defined,
One of my favorite quotes is exactly this.
Tell me, Lauren.
Any opportunity. My team's probably already cringing. No, it's like be committed to the outcome, but agnostic of the approach.
Yes.
It's like you have your very firm vision. And I think this is actually, for me, the key to resilience. Doesn't matter how you get there, as long as you just keep that kind of golden star in mind.
Yeah, absolutely. So I love that about the way you've addressed things, and I've watched you do it. And so that's why I'm bringing it up, because I think it's valuable for other female entrepreneurs. I think we need to embrace that more. Yeah. Instead of being perfectionists, become a recovering perfectionist like me. Hi, I'm Susanna. I'm a recovering perfectionist. And really just have your ultimate vision in mind. So what would be the best piece of advice that you could give other female entrepreneurs, other entrepreneurs, that you possibly have learned or that you wish you had known at the onset of your business journey?
It's never going to be the right time. Like, I was 22 years old, left my job, drew out my retirement annuity, and decided that this entrepreneurship journey was for me. And I had to pivot along the way. I had a marketing business, still have, went into legal tech, and couldn't afford tech developers, couldn't afford what it was going to cost me. And funding is also pretty difficult, and it takes a while to be able to get there. But for funding to be something that's more accessible, you should be able to have pre-generated revenue. So if you're generating revenue from a website, then all your app really is an enabler, and that's scalable on an international level. So instead of waiting for that funding, went to many events, and Future Females being some of them as well, being in the UK Tech Hub cohort, has taught me just start. If your website's not the greatest website, I did my own website. I'm not a website developer. But as I got money, I was able to then pay someone to do it. But learn, upskill. There's so many free courses that are there. Just do it.
Just do it. I think that's one of the most common, right, answers, Lauren, that we've had to that question.
Do it.
Just do
Absolutely.
it. Like, just take that first step. Just do it. So, yeah. Hell yeah, guys. Just do it.
But Serisha, what I love about this is also, our conversation earlier this week at a funding event that we were at, and we were discussing like the right time to go for funding, and this notion that you need it to start on your idea. But then the reality, particularly sitting in Africa, is that investors are no longer investing as much in an idea and in the potential of growth that's not proven. They're investing in like the Zebra business model that has already generated revenue, has already proven that it can be sustainable. And what I love about the Zebra model is that it also brings purpose into account as well. So I think that's such an important point. We're getting a bit of a time warning. But I do want to ask you about your article that came out today. So don't tell us it all, because we're all going to go read it. But Thrivers and Survivors, that sounds like such an incredible concept. And you were alluding to, I guess, some of the struggles you've been through that are included in that. Do you want to share a couple with us?
So this year alone has probably been one of the most difficult entrepreneurship journeys for me. And that just came down to trying to look so hard for the funding, but not realizing that there's a revenue model in front of me. And being able to just look at, can I actually make sales that's going to assist the funding process? Because I can't be sitting around with the hopes. And this year was the year where and years before, where I had to eat noodles for at least a month and sometimes 2. And I sprinkled cheese on it, and I was like, you know what, babes, this is gourmet right now. and that was actually the sort of quote that Forbes used, because it was hard. And I don't come from a wealthy family, so everything I have has to be me. And I am the backup plan. I don't have a backup plan. So just sitting in that silent moments of not knowing what's next, funding's not coming, I have a revenue model in front of me, what are you going to be spending your day on? And I think in the toughest moments is when I learned the most. And I'm just hoping that I'm able to inspire other young entrepreneurs, male and female, to just continue on your passion, and your passion will create profit. And yeah, I just think do it. If it makes you happy, do it.
And become your own backup plan.
Yeah,
I love that line.
loved that.
I think that's going to be the title of this interview.
Yes.
It's really great. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well
you.
done.
Thank you.
Well done. I really want to give you a hell yeah for perseverance and for also just being honest, right? Ladies, a big hell yeah.
Thank you.
I think while we're on the hell yeah, I'm going to steal your usual question, which is, share with us the thing that you are most proud of that you've achieved so far.
So I have an NPO called Art of Charity, and I actually sold my first painting to be able to assist gender-based violence. And it makes me very emotional because I'm all about warrior women and being able to help. So
congratulations.
Yay,
That's so beautiful.
thank you.
Well
That's
done.
amazing.
I actually was looking for the paintings. I went on the website, I went on social media. I was like, where are these paintings? Where is the
Haven't
artwork?
posted them. I was
know.
always so afraid, and now I'm going to create a page and I'm going to start posting it. It's my
Yeah.
creation.
Yeah, no, you must, because I desperately wanted to see them. And that's
Thank
also
you.
like standing in, going, yes, I did this, is part of the journey too. right?
Thank you.
Is giving yourself that like,
Proud moments.
thank you for sharing that with us, and thank you for being the light that you wish to see in this world, because I think that's what we all need to do, is step into being the light that we wish to see in this world. It's one of my favorite sayings, Lauren. Yeah.
Awesome.
Did you want to say something else?
No, I just want to say a massive thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
joining
for having
us.
me.
Thank
Sorry
you for
for
sharing.
getting a bit emotional.
No,
it's wonderful.
But
Tears are
was,
welcome.
it was just a proud moment to be able to give back, regardless of financial situations that we're all going through. It was something like posting an artwork and saying, guys, I'm selling this to be able to help gender-based violence, and to be able to achieve that means that one painting being sold is scalable. So I'm able to sell many more paintings and be able to assist gender-based violence.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yay.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you to everyone here, and thank you to everyone who tuned in online. We'll catch you next time.
Bye.